Welcome to another edition of Talkin Sports. I'm Charlie DeBiase, sports reporter for the Staten Island Advance. This week's topic is high school softball, and we are joined by St. John Villa assistant softball coach Joe Prada and Moore Catholic head softball coach Ralph Maloney. Guys, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having us.
This year's Catholic season was pretty interesting. We had three teams the whole year: Moore Catholic, St. John Villa, and St. Joseph by the Sea, that contended for the title. And Joe, the season pretty much went according to script, went down to the final week of the season. What was your assessment of this year?
As far as the season goes, we were coming in and, we played a bunch of very, very tight games. We had more, two games where it was actually 1-0. Another game where with more that, it ended up 5-0, but, it was a pretty close game throughout the whole game. And then with C, same thing, one pitch, and we had the last game where it came down to, a throwing error, but, we played them tight, throughout the whole season, and it was a great season so far.
Absolutely, it was a terrific season that went down to the wire. As a matter of fact, if St. Joseph by the Sea defeats St. Peter's on Friday, they will be crowned Island champs, and it still brings up a pretty interesting scenario for the playoffs, Ralph, where obviously Moore, Villa, and C will be heavy contenders for the Archdiocesan Championship. Notre Dame is the fourth place team coming in. How do you see the playoffs coming up?
It's not as easy as it once was going out to Westchester. I mean, 6-7 years ago, you went out to Westchester. Each team won their games 1, 2, 3, and you were back here. Westchester's become a much more, more softball-oriented, and the competition is much better now. So I can see it being a rough road for all four teams.
And concerning Staten Island, now, Joe, Villa, Moore, Notre Dame, and C had played each other 3 times each. When you play each other so many times, you become familiar with them. Is that an advantage for a team or a disadvantage for a team?
The coaches and the players get to know my kids just as good as I'm getting to know them. So, like I said, it's a bunch of great kids that, they play with each other during the summertime, most of the kids, and, they know what pitches they could hit. Like I could ask my catcher when a kid's coming up for C or when a kid's coming up for Moore, what she thinks that, what pitch I should throw, and she'll shake me off, let me know that, this kid's how strength is. And then by the time the third game comes, hopefully I'll know exactly what the kid's strengths and weaknesses are.
I think it's an advantage. I mean, I remember in '99 we played Notre Dame after beating them 3 straight, and they just took us apart out in pace. They beat us like 9-1, 9-2. So I think it's more of an advantage that, you're going to see these teams constantly. Again, down the line, it could bite you, and it could be a good thing. Okay,
now, as we said earlier, barring a tremendous upset today, St. Joseph by the Sea will likely be crowned the Island champion, and like we said, both Villa and Moore had played them 3 times this year, and I guess when everything comes everything begins with Danielle Consiglione. Not only is she one of their top hitters, but she's also their main pitcher. Joe, what are your feelings on Consiglione?
Well, I think Danielle has gotten so much better. She started out, last year. We got to see her a little bit at the end of our first game, and we got a couple of runs off of her. But she's gotten so tough, and it's one of the strengths is that when kids on our team coming back into the dugout saying that her ball's moving like crazy. So she had a very, very good year. She's a terrific kid, and she's a great player.
And then Ralph, of course, they've had. When push comes to shove, the league is a pitching and defense league. But of course, they have their offensive players that have done some damage. They've had several freshmen that have made contributions this year, especially Maria Scapoletto has been a tremendous hitter. Jackie Kelly has come up with some clutch hits, but she's more of a great defensive third baseman and all.
Well, you know what? They're young. They bring some energy to the field. I mean, they beat off Danielle because obviously she's the captain and she's the one in the circle. But, they beat off her. And again, the kid Scapolato's done a great job. The kid Kelly has banged a couple of balls to the fence against us this year. They're young, they're energetic, and they're going to be tough in the future.
St. John Villa, I don't mean to bring up anything bad, Ralph, but the other day they had defeated Moore Catholic at all. You guys go into the playoffs with a little bit ahead of steam, and everything starts, and I'm not going to say finishes, but with Maria DiMartino, who's been phenomenal as a hitter and a pitcher. How has she been for you this year?
She's been absolutely great. Maria's, one of the hardest working kids that we've had. Me and John have had at Villa for the last 10 years. And, when she gets out on the mound, she's like a bulldog, and she, the other day she came out and she was a little pumped up at the beginning of the game, but as the game went on, I had a little talk with her, and she was hitting her spots. When Maria hits her spots, she's tough.
Villa, of course, has several other key contributors this season, including Stephanie DiMartino, Jen Chiaforo is returning advanced all-star, and Kim Zambito has been hitting the ball well, Joe. So it's not only Maria.
Absolutely. It's been more of a team effort this year. I mean, Stephanie is only a sophomore, but the kid is as strong as a hitter as we've had at Villa in quite some time. And she just this year she's started to learn the art of hitting. And I said that in the preview. And the kid has been more than our expectations before she came into the school. Jen's doing a great job. We dropped her down from the leadoff spot to the number 2 hole, and she's doing a great job. Getting bunts down and moving kids over and getting hit by pitches. I think she got hit maybe by 10 pitches this year. And Kim Zambito is just a phenomenal improvement. From day one after we took her up our freshman year, she's been great. And she turns double play with the best of them. She's got great hands and she's quick on a release.
Defending Archdiocesan champion for Catholic Mavericks. And Ralph, listen, it's no secret. At the top of the pecking order is your pitching, and Allison Chiaramonte and Katrina Pistelli have been phenomenal this season. How important are they going to be if you are to win another Archdiocesan championship?
They're both huge in our program, but you can't expect them to be the main people on this team. We need to offensively play better, and yesterday we were shut down terrifically by Maria, but we need to be more aggressive there. And again, we just can't expect these 2 young ladies to carry this team, and unfortunately this year we have.
And the Mavericks had struggled a little bit offensively earlier in the year, but one player that absolutely picked it up from, let's say, middle of the year on has been Junior Brielle Kirschner. I mean, she's been crushing the ball, Ralph.
Yeah, she's a special kid. She's a special person. Coach decided middle of the year to bring her up in the 1 hole, and she's just blossomed from there.
The Mavericks, of course, have a top-notch power hitter in sophomore Danielle Dasha, and your receiver, catcher Kristen Liberatoria, has also been a key part of your team this season.
Libby's done a real nice job handling the pitches. I mean, it's not easy to handle 2 pitches of the caliber that we have. She's struggling at bat lately, but she's come out big in playoffs, and we're hoping she really comes through for us again. Danielle is, it's funny, she's the youngest one on the team, but she's shown power. She hit the ball real hard the other day against Villa. The kid made a phenomenal catch on her, and you know what? She's been staying back now, and she's been working real hard, and hopefully the bat will wake up and do some damage in the playoffs.
And of course, as we noted earlier, the 4th place team out of Staten Island this year will be Notre Dame Academy. And Joe, they have a couple of solid players in Victoria Guerreri and Mallory Skirbo, and my feeling is you guys would love to see them defeat top-seeded Preston on Monday so that the semifinals will all come back to Staten Island.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, Joe, they played a couple of, a couple of the games they played very tough. It's not impossible for the Gators to win on Monday.
Absolutely. I was telling Mr. Curatori the other day that, he's got as good a chance as the rest of us of winning their games. So, they played us tough. They had us down 7-0 at one point, during one of the games this year. And, they got a bunch of good hitters on the team. And they're still relatively young also. Victoria's great behind the plate. And Mallory, when she throws strikes, she can be tough on the mound. So she's been good.
So just to do an overview on the situation with the Catholic playoffs, they begin on Monday. There are 2 games at Spelman. There are 2 games at Scanlon and the Bronx. If all 4 Staten Island teams win, the semifinals and the championship will be back on Staten Island. I know these guys want that to happen,
Absolutely.
and so do I. The PSAL playoffs also begin next week, and guys, both of your teams played Tottenville during the regular season, and to me, being undefeated, the Pirates are the clear-cut favorites once again to win a 5th straight PSAL City Championship. Ralph, what makes Tottenville as good as they are?
They're a machine. I mean, they got great defense. They got great pitching. They hit 1 through 9 in the lineup. They have a couple of young freshmen that are very good. I know the kid McFarland. She's a center fielder. She's can track down balls. They have a young kid in place that's real good. So I think, they're going to be set for a while.
Villa actually beat Tottenville earlier in the year, but obviously you walked away impressed with what they have.
No, absolutely. There's a reason why they've been champions. I don't know how many years in a row they've been champs. But, the Leo kid at third base is just phenomenal. I mean, their whole infield has absolute cannons, every single kid. And the kid behind the plate, Carrera, is one of the best catches that I've seen, since I've been at Villa. Great throwing arm, and their outfield's great too. So, it's going to take a monumental effort to beat them and dethrone them because they're that good.
Other Staten Island teams that will be participating in the PSAL playoffs, there's McKee Staten Island Tech, who the leader of that team is Caitlin Lee between pitching and hitting. Susan Wagner also had a fine season behind Dia Cascone, and Port Richmond and Curtis should also qualify for the playoffs, and it should be pretty interesting, but like I said, Tottenville is the clear-cut favorite for the PSAL City Championship this season. Well, that concludes this edition of Talkin' Sports. I'd like to thank our guests, Joe Parada
Thanks for having me.
and Ralph Maloney. Thanks for joining the show. I'm Charlie DeBiase, and remember, for all the sports results, please log on to www.silive.com.